Hey guys, Brian here. Welcome back to the Snowy Shop today. Today's video is a viewer help request. I've got some of the smartest, most well-educated, knowledgeable viewers out there that follow my channel, so it's always good interacting with you guys and gals, and usually someone has an answer for just about everything that comes up. So this mill, which sadly was removed by professional riggers, it's what they call themselves, and they charge outrageous amounts of money for the services they perform. But had I been there when they took this apart, it would not have been too bad. I've already had to muddle through figuring out all the pieces that were thrown in a box for this drive mechanism, figuring out how all that went back together because none of it was labeled or separated. Figuring out where all the bolts went back was a fun little task. Obviously they didn't care. They were just getting paid and they wanted to get out and get to lunch. But the bigger issue comes over here on this scale unit on the table. Had I been there, it more likely would have been taken apart the proper way. But instead, the butchers were there, and rather than pulling the scale out of the end, which would have took one screw off the end cap, was all it took to get the scale out of the end. Instead, they decided to cut the wires off of it because, you know, that's always what you do when you're a low dollar paid monkey. When you unhook stuff, it takes too long to find tools and unscrew it. You just cut it. Same kind of thing I see with wire boxes all the time. Instead of taking the Allen bolts out and, you know, finding a hex key, you just cut the wires off. Anyway, this is a Accu-Rite 5 scale, it says on here. Some ancient vintage as far as I'm concerned in the scale world. It's a glass scale. There's no markings on this one. The one up there on the head, which of course nobody had to take apart it because they just left it on there, says it's an absolute 0. It may be an absolute 0 too. It says it's an absolute 02, 10 micron, or 5/10, half thousandths. I can only assume that this one is the same. Like I said, there's no markings on it. But let me show you what I got here, and y'all can help me figure out how to put this back together if anybody out there knows. I dug around on the internet and I found very few pictures of these actually taken apart. So perhaps this can help out somebody else in the future too if they ever get to working on this stuff. So here's what they did to my wire harness. Lovely. Yeah. Screws are too much trouble. Wire cutters are the answer. And this is what I pulled out of the scale. This is the reader head. I don't think there's anything wrong with this. It worked before they had a hold of it. I assume matching the colors of the wires back together will be enough to get this to work. But I'm not sure if there's a piece missing here or not. This piece, which the wires go into this box, or my main cable does. So the harness comes in here, and I'm pretty sure that this is supposed to feed down through the top here and be silicone shut to keep water and coolant and stuff from going in there. It looks like to me some screws should go in these holes, and maybe something to hold this piece, but I don't have that part. I don't know if it's missing or lost or what the deal is. From looking around on the internet, I couldn't even tell for sure that there was a piece that went here. I don't know why they would have put the screw holes in it if something didn't go there though, so that's a little confusing. This piece looks like maybe it even got bent. I don't know. They may have yanked this apart rather than cut it. I'm not sure what happened here, but this piece was all bent crazy down in here, and I didn't think it was supposed to be like that, so I've straightened it out as best I can. And it appears to me that there is a pocket in here and that it runs up through this groove and snaps into that. Now, I don't know if that's the only thing that holds this, is just that wire with the ball on it. Maybe it is. I guess there's no play in it. Seemed like maybe not the most accurate measuring means there when you're going backwards and forwards for that, but maybe it works like that. I don't know. Hopefully you guys can tell me how this works and I can get it fixed back up. I did get the readout mounted back on here. Let's fire this vintage piece of equipment up. This is a Millvision. This is a fancy deal here. First time, I guess. Appears to be a processor-based system. There it is. 1988. Yep. It's getting back there. And there's our readouts. I think Y should be vertical is hooked up. Yep, you can see it move. So it does read. I haven't put an indicator on it to verify that the values are correct, but it is reading. So I'd like to get the other one hooked up and get it working. Also, if anybody has the board that goes in this to add the other two axes, the Z and W capabilities, that would be cool. It'd be nice to have a at least be able to add a long scale on this for the boring depth. Currently all I have is the cross and the vertical. So I can drill a plate pattern, but I can't really bore depth. Have to use dial indicators on that. And it would be definitely nice to have that, because that's going to be probably one of the main functions of this mill, is boring depth. Might even be possible to somehow mount an indicator in the tube back there to read out, which would be pretty cool if you could do that and have a spindle value as well for the W. But that may be too much involved. Well, I'm gonna keep this one short since this was just pretty much a help shout out video. If anybody's familiar with these readouts and can help me figure out how to put this all back together correctly, if I'm on the right track or if I'm out in left field as far as how this goes back, because I said I didn't take it apart, so I don't really know, and information seems sparse on the internet as far as how it's constructed. But also I would like, if anybody knows a source for the rubber strips that enclose the scales, that would be good too, because the ones on the vertical are pretty well shot. Probably 80% of the rubber is cracked and fell out of them. They had some duct tape up there on the top to keep trash out of it, to keep it off the glass, because you definitely get incorrect readings if you get trash on your glass, from what I understand. So it'd be nice to seal all that back up. And so other than that, it appears to be working, so I don't really see a need to replace it at this point in time, especially since 8-foot scales are pretty expensive. Or at least the one on my, the newer one on my lathe was when I bought it. I can't complain about it though, it's worked good. I've had it probably 15 years, so it's probably outdated too, but hey, you know, measuring is measuring regardless of when it was done. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, I'll catch y'all later.